That's what you can do there. Then, the third choice you'd be looking at is the amount of authority to be delegated. And as I said, the maximum amount the county can delegate is if they can delegate anything but those 3 or so main areas. Annexing new land, but that's not likely because we go right to Willard, right to Brigham, right to the mountains and bird refuge. So really we're mainly talking about taxing and bonding. Anytime you change the tax rate or issue a bond to build a big project, you got to go back to the county commission. If they delegate everything else, you can do everything else. Or they can say, yeah, in addition to those couple of powers, we'd like you to keep a few more. So they can, there's any range in between. Which brings us to the last point, which is they can delegate even, and I bounced this off an attorney expert in this area, and he agrees with me, that they can delegate, even though it hasn't really been done before in any special district that I've seen, they can delegate even the ability to appoint, because the code doesn't list that as one of the things that you cannot delegate. So they could say, you know what, we don't even want to, let's say you appoint all 5 members. They can say, you know, mayor and council, why don't you just appoint all 5 in staggered terms of 3 and 2, you know, and we don't even care if you be the appointing authority, we don't want to be. If they want to do that, they can. So that's your main 4 choices, and there is actually one final alternative or option. It's more drastic. The only downside to this one is it's time consuming. And what we're looking at, I think, is to do something a little more quickly by the end of the calendar year, or at least to have in place by spring. This one probably won't be that quick. But you could create, and you can reserve this option to do it in the future, you don't have to do it now, but you can do a city-created district that would replace the county-created district, and then you could take all of the functions of the county district, all of the assets and liabilities, put them in the new city district, then dissolve the old county district. And then you don't have to worry about that delegation of authority. Then it would devolve back to the council, not the county commission, as far as those taxing and bonding powers. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Last slide I had there is just where we're at then is today, or at least by the next meeting, getting some recommendations from you to the county commission and county attorney, and then what they'll do is have at least one public hearing, at least pass at least one resolution to finish making those changes, and then those board members could be elected, or the same ones that are appointed be officially appointed as board members instead of just committee members or whatever. So, and that could be done by the end of the calendar year. It's likely. It's not a really long process. So, any questions?
I have a question. Are the members compensated for their time?
They don't have to be. Normally there's nominal compensation, you know, like $30, $50 a meeting, whatever. I've seen a lot of these districts. Some are completely voluntary, like the planning commission, but they're never highly paid. They're usually just nominal. Unless they're really large districts with
millions of dollars. And the budget comes from the county's taxing authority.
Right. It was created by that. And of course, there's a line item on everybody's taxes that goes directly to this, can only be spent on this, and it I think is about 70,000 a year is what's being generated. And right now, I think there's close to 200,000, or at least 180,000. There's about 2.5 years at least worth of money that's
sitting there.
Sitting there, yeah. And fortunately, by state law, they can carry that over. Unlike a city, we couldn't do that. So, because it's focused on that, they can only use it on flood control.
It sounds to me like that we need to have a little work session on this and discuss it, and then make a recommendation. Because I think, you know, these are important.
Always, yeah, they're very important.
Yeah, because I would like to see, eventually, I would like to see it all come to Perry. If it's Perry City money, I'd like to see Perry City take control of it, and Perry City cut as much of the governmental steps out as we possibly can. However, I also know that we're getting this started back up. Anytime you start something back up, you get new members. It's nice to have a check and balance set up, and so I can see some of the need to keep it under the county taxing control for now, but to move it forward in the future. But I do think that we need to get going on this as fast as we can, so that we can get it passed and over with, and we can give our committee that we have kind of appointed right now the authority actually to go out and take care of the problems in our city.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, it's a hassle. First, like the cleaning out the diversion structure, had to go to them, tell them what, needs to be done. Then they approved the project. Then they asked me to go get, 3 bids on it. So, and finally got the bids, and then I gotta go back and see what they wanna do with it. And I think it'd be streamlined so much.
Right, yeah, we're taking about 8 steps where we could take 2, but we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Based on how it's currently set.
And it would be nice that right now, if we went to the county and said, hey, we've put together a flood control board, or a flood control committee actually. We would like to present those names to you to be our flood control board. With that, we would like them to be able to hire whatever, a secretary or whatever, to take care of all of the books, the minutes, the whole thing. And at that time, have the ability to present a budget to the county once a year to spend all of those funds at the discretion of the board, with the overall budget and public hearing for the budget being held maybe at the county level for now.
And actually, I think they can delegate even the budget.
And see if they could do that.
It's only if you change the tax rate or bond, I think, that they have to be involved.
Because I would like to be able to, we live in Perry, we have pride in Perry, and we're going to make sure that the Perry citizens that are on the board have the ability to take care of the issues in Perry, and that's what we kind of want to see. At least that's what I want to see. And I want to probably put that together as soon as we possibly can.
I would like to see it, or get it to where the county would, turn the reins over to us, so that we can, make decisions, get the projects done. But then maybe they would have a yearly, like you said, the budget, a yearly report on the budget and everything that we've done.
Yeah.
And then if they see any kind of problems coming up, then they could, step back in if they needed. But I don't see the problems happening again like they did.
I don't either, and I think with the election taken out of that, I think the election adds a lot of grief that we don't really need. I would rather have it appointed, because there's 6 of us sitting up here that know the information because we put the appointments across. That's better than, I know in the old days when you would see them put on the ballot 2 people running for 2 positions. So, we spent $1,000 or $1,500 and we didn't accomplish anything because they were the only 2 that were going to go in anyway. But I would like to maybe even take a look at ratifying through the county for now, but to definitely make sure that we have, as a city, the ability to appoint all of the people to that board, because face it, the money is coming from Perry citizens.
Right, yeah, they're the ones paying it.
They're the ones paying the bill.
And Councilman Malin had a good point too the other day, that right now all we're doing is reacting to emergencies. We got to hurry and fix this control structure, or we got to hurry and clear out this ditch.
Yeah.
And as opposed to this board could proactively make a 2 or 3 year plan and say, okay, we're going to budget